Thank you, ma'am. Namaskar. On behalf of Department of Fertilizer, this is to inform that the availability of fertilizer for the season, that is Kharif season, remains more than 51% across the states, and about 200.98 LMT of fertilizer is available across the country. 200.98 LMT of fertilizer remains available. There's no major change in the MRP of major fertilizer. The domestic production after the crisis period has been substantial, that is 86.2 LMT, and about more than 22 LMT of imports have reached our shores. So overall the position is comfortable. Besides India, through our consortium-based approach, we have secured about 13.5 lakh metric ton of diammonium phosphate and 7 LMT of NPK complexes. Besides, we are also, the companies through the consortium approach are also, have also procured ammonium sulfate and other raw materials for fertilizer manufacturing. The availability of inputs for other inputs for urea and complex manufacture is being reviewed regularly by the government, by the department, and the subsidy bills are being paid regularly on weekly basis through our integrated fertilizer management subsidy system. The Department of Fertilizer has been reviewing the overall situation and overall, and so far about 9 empowered group of secretary. The meetings have been chaired by Secretary Fertilizer. Overall, the situation remains strong and stable and comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Ms. Sujata Sharma, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, to provide updates on the fuel supply situation. Thank you.
नमस्कार। वेस्ट एशिया क्राइसिस को शुरू हुए 2.5 महीने से अधिक का समय हो गया है और अभी भी स्टेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज़ में जो सिचुएशन है वो नॉर्मल नहीं है, जिसकी वजह से जो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट है उसमें क्रूड और बाकी नेचुरल गैस एलपीजी के प्राइसेस में बहुत उछाल देखा जा रहा है और इस सब के चलते हमारा जो इंपोर्ट है क्रूड एलपीजी और नेचुरल गैस का वो भी अफेक्ट हुआ है, परंतु हमारी रिफाइनरीज़ नॉर्मल ऑपरेशन पर है और हमारे पास सफिशिएंट क्रूड इन्वेंट्रीज़ हैं। अगर प्रोडक्ट का सप्लाई देखें तो पेट्रोल, डीजल, एलपीजी और नेचुरल गैस के सफिशिएंट स्टॉक्स हैं और किसी भी एलपीजी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरशिप पर या रिटेल आउटलेट पर ड्राई आउट नहीं है, लेकिन कई जगह पर अफवाहों के चलते पैनिक बाइंग देखी जा रही है और इमीडिएट एक्शंस आर आल्सो टेकन टू रिप्लेनिश द सप्लाईज एट द आइडेंटिफाइड रिटेल आउटलेट्स। ये भी देखा जा रहा है कि जो बल्क सेल था वो पंप सेल पर भी शिफ्ट हो रहा है, परंतु इसके बावजूद भी देश में पेट्रोल और डीजल की सप्लाई को नॉर्मल कर बनाए रखने के लिए हर संभव प्रयत्न किया जा रहा है और कोई भी रिटेल आउटलेट पर कोई ड्राई आउट नहीं है। इसी तरह घरेलू कुकिंग एलपीजी गैस की सप्लाई भी इंश्योर की जा रही है, किसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर पर कोई ड्राई आउट नहीं है। कमर्शियल एलपीजी की सप्लाई 70% पर अभी बनी हुई है। मार्च के महीने से लेकर अभी तक लगभग 7,37,000 पीएनजी कनेक्शंस को गैसीफाई किया गया है। 2,76,000 कनेक्शंस के लिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट किया जा चुका है और 7,76,000 से अधिक ऐसे कंज्यूमर्स हैं जिन्होंने पीएनजी कनेक्शन के लिए अपने आप को रजिस्टर कराया है। इसके अलावा कल तक 58,000 से अधिक ऐसे पीएनजी कंज्यूमर्स हैं जिन्होंने अपने एलपीजी कनेक्शन को सरेंडर किया है। पिछले 4 दिन में लगभग 1,72,000 एलपीजी घरेलू कुकिंग सिलेंडर्स की डिलीवरी की गई है, जबकि जो बुकिंग इन 4 दिनों में लगभग 1.69 करोड़ थी। 1,72 lakh LPG cylinders have been delivered against the booking of 1.69 crore request. कमर्शियल एलपीजी की सप्लाई भी लगातार की जा रही है और इस महीने की शुरुआत से लेकर अब तक 1,08,000 टन कमर्शियल एलपीजी की सेल हुई है। पिछले 4 दिनों में 25,200 टन से अधिक कमर्शियल एलपीजी की सेल की गई है। पिछले 4 दिनों में 888 टन ऑटो एलपीजी की सेल भी की गई है। 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स पिछले 4 दिन में 1,90,000 से अधिक सिलेंडर्स की सेल हुई है। PSU OMCs के द्वारा अवेयरनेस कैंप अभी भी किए जा रहे हैं। कल भी 2,200 से अधिक सिलेंडर्स की सेल हुई है लगभग 95 कैंप्स के अंदर। नेचुरल गैस के संबंध में यूरिया प्लांट्स की जो यूरिया प्लांट्स है वो 96% उनकी जितनी रिक्वायरमेंट है उस पर ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द सप्लाई ऑफ नेचुरल गैस। CGD एंटिटीज़ को भी सप्लाई 80% पर एनहांस की जा चुकी है। इसके अलावा अगर कोई भी एडिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट है फ्रॉम इंडस्ट्री, पावर प्लांट, टेक्सटाइल, फार्मास्यूटिकल्स या कमर्शियल सेक्टर्स, उसको भी गेल और बाकी जो सप्लायर्स हैं उसको मीट करने की पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इसके अलावा C3, C4 मॉलिक्यूल जैसे प्रोपिलीन और ब्यूटाइलिन, इसका भी 1 मई से लेकर अभी तक 8,730 टन सेल हुआ है और ब्यूटाइल एक्रिलेट का 3,420 टन सेल किया गया है डिफरेंट रिफाइनरीज के द्वारा। एनफोर्समेंट एक्शन स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स के द्वारा और ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनीज के ऑफिशियल्स के द्वारा किया जा रहा है। पिछले 4 दिनों में PSUs के द्वारा लगभग 2,800 रिटेल आउटलेट्स और LPG डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स पर सरप्राइज इंस्पेक्शन कंडक्ट की गई है। अंत में मैं सभी लोगों से ये अपील करना चाहूँगी कि जो पैनिक बाइंग जगह जगह पर हो रही है उनसे बचें। आवश्यकता के अनुसार जो ईंधन है वो क्रय करें। सरकार पेट्रोल, डीजल और LPG की उपलब्धता और डिलीवरी सुनिश्चित कराने के लिए हर संभव प्रयत्न कर रही है और हमें अपने दैनिक उपयोग में ऊर्जा को बचाने के लिए हर संभव प्रयत्न करना चाहिए। नागरिकों से यह भी अनुरोध है कि वे PNG, इंडक्शन और इलेक्ट्रिक कुक स्टॉव जैसे वैकल्पिक ईंधनों का भी प्रयोग करें। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. I next invite Shri Mukesh Mangal, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, to give updates on the maritime and shipping related issues.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon. As briefed in the last media interaction on 14th May, the Marshall Island flagged LPG carrier Simi that was carrying 19,965 metric ton of LPG cargo for India with 21 foreign crew members on board, berthed at Kandla on 16th of May late night and completed its discharge of the entire cargo. The Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways continues to coordinate with the Ministry of External Affairs, Indian missions and maritime stakeholders to ensure seafarer welfare and uninterrupted maritime operations. All Indian seafarers in the regions are safe and no incident involving Indian flagged vessels or foreign flagged vessels with Indian crew has been reported in past 96 hours. As regard the control room updates, it has handled till date 9,702 calls and more than 21,000 emails. In past 96 hours, around 436 calls and 996 emails have been received from seafarers, their families and maritime stakeholders. The ministry has facilitated the safe repatriation of more than 3,217 Indian seafarers so far, including 61 in last 96 hours from various locations across the Gulf region. Port operation across India remains normal with no congestion reported. Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite Shri Aseem Mahajan, Additional Secretary, Gulf, Ministry of External Affairs, to kindly share updates.
Good afternoon. Ministry of External Affairs continues to closely monitor the developments in the Gulf and West Asia region. Our efforts are focused on ensuring the safety and welfare of the Indian community in the region. The dedicated special control room in the ministry is operational to respond to queries from Indian nationals and their families. We are in constant touch with the state governments and union territories to share information and coordinate our efforts. Our embassies and consulates in the region are operating round-the-clock helplines to provide timely assistance to Indian nationals. They are proactively assisting our citizens. They are also in close touch with the local governments. Advisories are being issued, including information related to local government guidelines, flight and travel situation, consular services, and the various welfare measures being undertaken for the community. Our missions are actively engaged with the resident Indian community. They are regularly interacting with the Indian community associations, organizations, professional groups, and Indian companies to address their concerns. Welfare of the Indian seafarers in the region is of high priority for us. Our missions are extending all assistance to them, including coordination with the local authorities and agencies, extending consular assistance, and assisting for requests to return to India. An update on the status of flights. The overall flight situation continues to improve, with additional flights operating from the region to various destinations in India. UAE airspace is open. Indian and UAE carriers are operating flights from UAE to various destinations in India. Flights are operating from various airports in Saudi Arabia and Oman to different destinations in India. Qatar airspace is partially open. Air India Express, Indigo, and Qatar Airways are operating flights from Qatar to various destinations in India. Kuwait airspace is open. Jazeera Airways and Kuwait Airways are operating flights from Kuwait to India. Bahrain airspace is open. Air India Express, Indigo, and Gulf Air are operating flights from Bahrain to various destinations in India. Iraq airspace is open with limited flight operations to destinations in the region, which can be used for onward travel to India. Iran airspace is partially open. We have advised Indian nationals to avoid traveling to Iran and urge those already there to leave with our embassy's support. So far, our embassy in Tehran has facilitated movement of 2,551 Indian nationals out of Iran through land border routes. Israel airspace is open and limited flight operations have resumed to destinations in the region, which can be used for onward travel to India. Thank you.
Thank you. With this, the floor is now open to questions. Kindly raise your hands and introduce yourself by giving your name and that of your organization before asking the question. I would also request you to kindly confine your questions to the subject of the interministerial briefing, that is West Asia developments. We could start from the right side. Yes, please.
Hi, Sukal from the Indian Express. A couple of questions for Sujata, ma'am. Ma'am, petrol and diesel prices were hiked late last week. But of course, the figures that were shared with us earlier in terms of the under recoveries or the losses the oil marketing companies are facing on the sale of petrol and diesel particularly, the 3 rupee hike obviously does not cover their entire losses. So there is now speculation or indications that there might be successive hikes going forward in a calibrated manner. So just wanted to get your views on it in terms of what is in the plans, if these hikes are going to be effected, by when are they going to be implemented. The other question is that over the weekend the American waiver on Russian oil imports was allowed to lapse. It hasn't been renewed as of yet. Although the last time around they said that they won't renew it, but 2 days later they renewed it. So as far as the government is concerned, are you in talks with the Americans, and is it something that is on the cards? Yep, thank you.
Yeah. So my question was closely the same, but then I just have another question to ask, which is how will India's wartime fuel strategy change, especially with the US waiver again expiring?
Hi, Sapna Das from CNBC. So just in addition to what Sakalp has been asking, on the other side, the flip side of the coin is that the inflation numbers are up, and they're expected to go up further. So inflation. So there is a cost push also that's coming into the economy. So it's a tough call for the government, but how are you planning to balance? Because future hikes cannot be ruled out given the losses. At the same time, No, ma'am. I mean, these are concerns that I'm sure that MOPNG will also be aware about. I mean, broadly, just want to understand the perspective and how do we chart the road forward over the next 2 to 3 months if the SOH doesn't open. Thank you, ma'am.
मैम शैलेश हूँ मैं एएनआई से। अभी 3 और पेट्रोल और डीजल पे 3-3 रुपए की बढ़ोतरी हुई है, तो अभी पेट्रोल और डीजल 1 लीटर पे कितने का नुकसान हो रहा है ओएमसीज को?
My question is for Sujata ma'am. What's the status of Naira shutdown and Reliance? Is Naira back and has Reliance, has it gone for a maintenance shutdown?
Ma'am, my question is, with the dry out, the day the petrol prices was revised, so Nasik had a dry out for 2 days. So maybe the petrol oil companies, they knew that the hike is coming in, so they were not giving in the, you can check on that, Nasik. And secondly, jo dhabe wale hain, they had a tandoor. So the tandoor was operating through coal. Over the years, they shifted to the gas. Now, if they're using a commercial gas cylinder, so most of the dhabas, the restaurants have closed down. So are you not going to allow them to use coal? And what's the situation on kerosene? How much of kerosene has been sold since you had allowed that?
I'm Amya Kumar from Telegraph newspaper. It is question from Sujata ma'am or Asim sir, anyone can give, as on this age not here. Will Indian government speak to US for waiver on Russian oil, as this has been not extended?
Thank you. I'm Anil Handa from Loktantra Kishan. Sujata ma'am, आपके लिए since the coal gasification is happening, so there will be 2 or 3 industrial products out of that, and ethanol will be one of them. So does the government have a plan to extract that ethanol and use it in the petrol? And with the coal gasification, the fertilizer manufacturing would also take a help with the SNG which is going to come. So does the government have any plans to roll out these byproducts or whatever way which the production is going to walk in? And I have got a question on brakes, if I can ask. The chair, there was no closing remark, yeah, on the brakes. Okay.
This is Sandeep Das from Financial Express. This is to Aparna ma'am. You said that 51% stocks are there as per the requirement of the Kharif crop, but the sowing will start with the onset of monsoon in the southern part of India. And how do you bridge that 49% gap within next couple of weeks? So that's it. And how much this subsidy burden you foresee in the next couple of months? You said last time that every month is increasing about 10,000 crore in terms of budget estimate, but how much you foresee that? Thank you.
Yeah, hi. My question to Aparna ma'am, I just want to learn from your side. So you said the domestic production of fertilizers is 86.28 lakh metric tons since the start of the crisis. So what was the production during the corresponding period of the last year?
Hi, I'm Rakesh Kumar from New Indian Express. My question is to Sujata ma'am. So ma'am, since the situation has deteriorated day by day and there is still supply shortage of petroleum, so is there any crude coming from the Strait of Hormuz? So no, but is there any plan to cut down the export of petrol and diesel?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Saptaparna Ghosh from The Hindu. Question to Sujata ma'am again. I mean, the last time around, we spoke about an austerity measure, I mean, a bailout package or potentially an alteration in excise duty for retail fuels. You said that there was no proposal under consideration back then, but since the pressure has fizzled out a bit with the price increase the last Friday, so has it something that has emerged on the table now, a potential proposal on that front? And ma'am, continuation to what my colleagues asked, could you also have, I mean, the under recoveries, the losses that we are making for LPG as well?
Hi, this is Dhruvaksh from Business Standard. My question is for Mr. Mangal. Sir, since the time that...
Please know whom the question is addressed to.
Mr. Mangal. Sir, since the last time that DG Shipping had issued an advisory on transparency in shipping prices for shipping lines, there have been two major variables that have changed since that time. One is that bunkering rates have softened a bit over the last month. And second is that you have also announced the Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool, which is now active and has already had its first 3 policies. And I'm assuming more are in the line. If you could give more details on what is the status of shipping lines using the Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool. And secondly, in the view of these two factors, given that DG Shipping and MOPSW has been reviewing transit prices for on an everyday basis right now, has there been a reduction in logistics costs? Has there been a reduction in shipping prices for shipping costs for exporters, importers?
Any more questions? I would now request the officers. First, I think I would, because most of the questions are addressed to you. Ms. Sujata Sharma, if you could please take the question.
Bailout package for OMC is still not on table. That is one. Second, under recovery is still there. Losses are still there on the OMCs, and now also it will be in the range of maybe 750 crores per day. And that includes petrol, diesel, and LPG, everything put together. Regarding 750. Regarding coal gasification, coal supply, I think the ministry concerned will be able to answer. Next is Reliance and Naira. I request you can check with the refinery concerned. That will be better. And regarding American waiver on Russia, I will like to emphasize that we have been purchasing from Russia earlier, and before waiver also, during waiver also, and now also. So it is basically the commercial sense which should be there for us to purchase, for OMCs to purchase. So that's my precise answer. There is no shortage of crude. Enough crude has been tied up. Repeatedly, I have told you, and this, whatever waiver or no waiver, it shall not affect our supplies, and all efforts have been taken to that effect. Price hike, MSHSD, sorry, I cannot predict. I can only tell what is there as on today. Thank you.
Can we answer the previous questions first? Then we'll have another round of questions. I now request Shri Mukesh Mangal to kindly address the question.
So you asked whether there has been some change on the logistic cost. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So we have some data like pre-war LPG, freight rate. LPG, it was around $94 US dollar per metric ton pre-war, and it was around $207 US dollar per metric ton as on 15th of May. So that is the case of LPG. Then around VLCC, that is crude, is around, earlier it was 14 US dollar per metric ton, and on 15th of May it was around 28.64 US dollar per metric ton. And as regard the container, which is very important, for us, because we are exporting a lot of material to Middle East. So it was around 203 US dollar per container, and which is now $2,000 per container. So that's the comparison. And as regard to advisory, that is still relevant. And as regard to insurance, how many companies have taken that data right now, I don't have. And maybe Department of Financial Service will be better place to give this data. Thank you.
Thank you. I request Ms. Aparna Sharma to respond to the queries.
Thank you, ma'am. The questions which were asked were regarding the present availability, that is 51%, and how we are going to make up for the balance of Kharif. So, as I have already informed earlier, that for Kharif 2026, the Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare has given us a requirement of about 390 lakh metric ton. So against this, a stock of 200.98 lakh metric ton is already available. That is about 51%. Besides that, the domestic production has been there of about 108 lakh metric ton, and the domestic production will continue at the same pace. We hope because urea, we have sufficient gas availability through with the efforts of MOPNG, that is, they have been supplying gas to the urea units. There is an average of 80,000 metric ton of production per day, and already the imports are as per schedule, and as already informed earlier, we have been diversifying our resource base with countries other than those in the Strait of Hormuz, and we have already tied up a substantial quantity of DAP and NPKs and urea as well with such countries. Regarding the domestic production, which was there last year, it was about 93 lakh metric ton, against which in this year the domestic production has been about 86 lakh metric tons. So there's a shortfall of a small shortfall, which we hope to cover in the coming months. Thank you.
Thank you. We could have the second round. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think the cabinet has recently approved the policy, so we are working out the dynamics and the. So we'll go with our technical counterparts. We are working out the whatever technology is there for the coal gasification. Yes, this is for you per day. Yes.
Transportation, you know that it has got 3-4 components. Suppose one exporter is there in Delhi, so cost of transportation constitute many components, like how much this here depot will charge, then railway transportation from Delhi to port, then port charges, and then shipping line charges, and then again same reverse path will follow there. So the problem is that not only the shipping charges are there, they are on higher side, but the main problem is with regard to the container handling at that side, because it is getting on the port which are eastern side of the strait, there it will get on the port, and then it will go to UAE or somewhere. So those charges are very high, and there is no effect on those charges. Shipping charges are likely to reduce somewhat after this Bharat Maritime Pool. So this is what I can, tell. Absolutely no idea, because one more thing you will appreciate that it has started. So it will also take some time to, have its own effect.
Yes, please, at the back. Yes.
I want to ask, sir, 2 questions. The rates that you gave, sir, for what route are these rates? For the freight rates, sir. What route are these rates for?
I am telling Middle East.
For Middle East, sir. Second question, sir. The Bharat Container, this maritime pool, the insurance pool, it gave insurance to 3 ships. Sir, where are these ships going?
No, that data I don't have right now.
Sir,
with me.
when can we expect the first Indian ship to sail from Indian coastline to West Asia?
To West Asia means western side of Strait of Hormuz.
Away from the danger
so,
zone at
so
least.
as soon as any vessel crosses that, we will be the first person to tell.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, the one in front. Then we can go to the back.
Sujata ma'am, just one clarification. A fortnight back, Petroleum Minister Puri had said that it was, the losses that OMCs were making on the 3 retail fuel combines was 1,000 crore a day. Since it, I'm assuming it has now come down to 750 crores. Is the reading correct, ma'am? Yes. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
So just to follow up on the question, appreciate the numbers that you gave on the freight. Just wanted to understand the comparison that you gave was pre-war and now. Could we have some sort of data on what these rates were on, let's say, April 15 to May 15? Would be a better comparison, because that is when you started enforcing those policies and the maritime pool also came. Could we have a comparison between May 15 and April 15th?
Again, okay, I can, come up with that, not right now, but that is not going to affect much, because the problem is that, as I told, that it has got 4 major components, like port charges. Here we have, not increased the port charges, then logistic charges within India, then shipping line charges, and then logistic charges that side. So the majority of the component which is affecting is the charges which are being, charged from their port to, hinterland connectivity. So those are the major issues, and those issues remains as it is. There is no, respite in that. So I don't know whether it will help or not, but maybe if possible next time I'll come up with that.
Sure, specifically on the shipping line charges, from port to port.
Port to port.
Yes, please.
Ethanol will be one of the products which should be coming out of the coal gasification. So at present, the ethanol blending is through the ethanol which is being produced from the agri products. So does the government have an alternate plan, or do you propose to use either of those effectively?
We have sufficient ethanol. There is no shortage.
No, it's not the question of shortage. The present ethanol...
The gasification se plant lagega, ethanol banega, then we can take a call on that,
would be
based on our requirement.
Ma'am, but that would be an industrial one, and this is a agricultural output, ethanol.
So right now I am not in the position to give this answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think with that we come to the end of the briefing. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming.